What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start this show by being transparent. And yesterday ended up being another good day for myself. I went 3-1. Both of my top plays were winners. Houston first half, cash. The over in the Lakers game, I got it at 235.5. I don't think it mattered what number you got. That cashed. And then Spurs, winner, loser on Austin Reeves under his assist prop. So profitable day overall. Try to keep that going here today, Rob Veno. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Skee. It was a good day for myself. Not 3-1, but 3-2. Made money yesterday. The only NBA, and you're right, it didn't matter because it wasn't until after we finished the show and maybe an hour after that when I got to talk myself into Lakers Spurs over 240 and a half. It rose all the way to I think 242 and a half by close, but it didn't matter. I mean, the points were coming fast and furious in that game, and San Antonio looked really good. College basketball provided me with a 2-2 with one. The one of the losses was a lesser play, so we made a little bit of hay yesterday in a 3-2 effort, and we'll try to do so again today.
All right, let's do it. We have four NBA games to talk about. We'll talk about the Thursday night football as well. And yeah, we'll start in the association. We usually do. That means Boston and Milwaukee opened up 7.5. Looks like 9 for Boston on the road. Totals come down from 226.5 to about 223.5. For Milwaukee, you have AJ Green questionable, Giannis and Taurean Prince out. Boucher, Ron Harper, Jason Tatum, and Williams out for the Celtics team. Um, this one, I don't like. I mean, the Celtics have been playing really good basketball, but I don't like the thought of laying a 9 with them on the road. Um, I I think more than that, I would like to just fade, maybe fade Milwaukee's offense. I don't know. I'm just not a big believer in Milwaukee either without Giannis out there. Um, I don't know, Vino. This one is the toughest game on the board for me. How do you feel about it?
Well, it's tough for me too because everything I look at tells me I should be playing under in this game, and it's always hard for me to get to under. Boston again, extremely slow pace. I think slowest pace in the NBA right now. Milwaukee not far behind, bottom five in pace. Um, Without Giannis, that's another reason to like less points out of Milwaukee. Although Kevin Porter Jr. has been playing real well as of late. Didn't like the quote out of Doc Rivers, who said that Miles Turner has only been okay so far, but he'll be better later. I'd like to know when later is for Miles Turner's sake and the Bucks' sake. Um, but the Celtics have shot it so well. Beginning of the year, they couldn't shoot threes. Now they're making threes. You just go over what they've been able to score recently 121. I'll go back even further 43, 28, 121, 142, 132 against San Antonio. They're able to pile on points, and I don't know that I could trust Milwaukee defense. So if you play under here, you're basically playing under because of the tempo. You're not really playing it because you think either defense stands out to you in this instance. You're just banking on lesser possessions. I don't know that I can do that, Skee, so I won't play under. And like you, it just seen too many of these games and too many times for Milwaukee without Giannis where they cover numbers. And it's not 100%, but it's definitely not 0% either. Over the last 3-4 years when he's been out, they've been able to cover numbers, especially one of this size. So road team -9. Last thing I'll say real quick is there's such a long layoff between games for these teams. It's hard to tell the rest versus rust things. NBA teams aren't used to sitting this long without playing their next game. And almost all, except for I think New Orleans is one that actually played on Monday. There's two teams tonight that played on Monday. I'm forgetting the other one. Long rest, I'm not so sure. We'll see how it goes. I haven't played this game at all.
Yeah, this is when I'm gonna pass. I am gonna pass, but yeah, I'll pass. Clippers and Houston. It opened up -8.5. Looks like 9.5 now. Total went from 220.5 to about 222.5. As far as the injury report, you have Jones and Chris Paul out for the Clippers. For Houston, Eason, Smith, and Van Fleet out. Um, this Clippers team, the offense just hasn't really been good. I'd like to think they could be held under their team total today. At the same time, you know, when I look at the numbers, it says that Clippers are number one as far as opponents' offensive rebounds allowed. I don't know. When I just think about the matchups, I still think Houston can kill them on the boards. I would think Houston on the spread or Clipper total under here. How are you viewing this one?
All right, so we're a little bit opposed here because I want to get myself to the point where I can play Clippers plus 9.5. If there's anything, and I just talked about it, if there's anything helpful to a team of age, it's all this time off. The Clippers haven't
Fair.
had to play for a while, and maybe they can come out with some energy here. Of course, James Harden is back in Houston, and I don't know when they arrived, but he's obviously got some favorite spots in Houston. Maybe he's going to hit tonight or last night or whatever. But I still think that the Clippers with rest, it's probably the best time to get to them for energy. And then secondly, I just don't like the fact that it's kind of a cluster injury in my mind. No Tari Eason, no Dorian Finney-Smith. You could argue that those are two of the four best defenders on the Houston team. They both play that small forward spot. So I think there's very little defense in that area. And Houston does take somewhat of a hit defensively. Tari Eason's not really a household name. That's somebody people mention all the time, but he's a key contributor for this squad, as is DFS. So to me, I'd like to take 9.5 here. I don't know that they can win the game, but I do think when I match these teams up, at least starter wise, they're good enough to stick close. If it was a back-to-back or something of that nature, maybe I would think differently. But I think time off for the Clippers, plus the fact that Houston's missing a couple of key defenders, could lead me toward Clippers plus 9.5.
All right, I'm going to get to this next game where I do like it a lot more. I like it a lot, actually. Opened up 5.5 for Portland, down to as low as 3.5 now, actually. Total went up from 237.5 as high as 240.5. For the Pelicans, and let's just refresh here. Jordan Poole, questionable. No Zion, no Murray. For Portland, no Klingon, no Scoot, Drew, Tybal, Wesley. Then you also have Hanson and Williams, questionable. I mean, you could be without a big man here for the Blazers if, everybody's out. This is a Blazers team that hasn't been good as a favorite all year. They've covered one, I think, out of 7 or 8 games so far this year. Um, and the Pelicans, they've been playing better lately, especially at home. They've covered 6 of the last 8 at home, I believe. Could get Jordan Poole back today. I feel like I like the Pelicans. Like if I just look at the team, like right now, I like who's going to be out there on the court more for the Blazers. I like that they're at home. I think that they should be like a pick 'em in this game. I think they can win. So if you're giving me points, I will take them. I take plus 4.5. What do you think about Blazers and Pelicans?
I think there's some technical numbers, and you hit on one of them that really do support the Pelicans here. First of all, let me talk about the total. Portland's been a road favorite 5 times this year. Every time Portland has been a road favorite, the game has gone over. 5-0 to the over with the Blazers as a road favorite. The second part of that equation, Skee, is that the home underdog, the team taking the points from Portland, is 4-1 against the spread. That vouches for New Orleans here, the team taking the points. They are 5-1 ATS their last 6. Portland's been pretty good their last 5 as well. But New Orleans is finding a way right now to stay close in games without Zion on the floor. And a lot of it is Derek Queen. I think Derek Queen had like 33 the other night, a double-double for sure. And New Orleans is finding ways to score, ways to hang within the point spread with teams. I wouldn't play against them here. That Portland road favorite record this year is not good. And New Orleans, as of late, has been a point spread covering machine, so to speak. So 2 ways to look at it. Either I would play it over because every Portland road game where they were favored is gone over, or I would play the home underdog side.
Yeah, I could get with an over, especially if you don't have any centers there for Portland and just lack of defense. You get Jordan Poole back. More offense, less defense as well. Uh, it's over or nothing as far as the total, and I am on New Orleans in this game. All right, let's move over to the next one. That's Nuggets and Kings. Opened up 9, looks like 10 or 10 and a half, depending where you shop. Total didn't really move. As far as the injuries, Schroeder is doubtful, no Levine or Sabonis. Denver will be without Braun, Gordon, and Strother. Nuggets and Kings, I played a couple times this year. Once was a Nuggets blowout. Another was a Kings win. The most recent was a Kings win. I think because of that, you'll get a really good effort from the Nuggets. And it's hard for me to see Sacramento like the Nuggets. I always say, and this is the one where I kind of feel different. I don't like to lay with teams who don't play defense, and I won't, for that reason. But I still think the Nuggets can cover just because you're gonna be missing. I mean, you're missing a lot of offense and points from Levine. I just don't think they'll have enough offense to keep up with whatever the Nuggets score. So Nuggets maybe team total over. Will probably like it a little bit more, but I can't bet the Kings. At least right now, I can't. So, how are you viewing this one?
Yeah, a couple of things here, Skee, that pushed me toward potentially Nuggets team total over. Not that it would be a bad play without anything extra to add to the handicap, but since Aaron Gordon and Christian Braun, who are two key defenders on this team, since they went down, Nuggets point scoring average is going up to 127.4 per game, which is above what we're looking at tonight. But what's interesting is that Jamal Murray, and I'll give you the quote from Jamal Murray. He said, with these guys in the lineup, we just get up and down more. Peyton is really lanky, really fast, really twitchy. Spencer plays super hard, crashing everywhere, giving up his body. Those guys are going up and down everywhere. It's slightly different than when we have Gordon and Braun. And Gordon and Braun, they still play quick, but now Murray's telling you we're just an even faster team with these guys in the lineup. I do like the fact, as you mentioned, that and Sacramento caught them. I'm forgetting the exact situation, but it was a bad scheduling spot for the Nuggets, the game they lost to Sacramento recently, their most recent meeting.
Yeah, it was on a
This is
back to
not a
back
bad.
after a game versus the Rockets.
There you go. And this is not a bad scheduling spot. This is nice. Lots of rest, lots of time to remember that they beat you, and a team that scores at will anyway. So I'm probably there with team total over on the Nuggets side. It's 124 and a half. That's kind of high, but for them, that's pretty much the norm. I mean, they get to 125 quite often or better. So I think Nuggets team total might be the way I go. I guess I couldn't argue anybody off a full game either, because, like you say, the Nuggets don't get a lot of stops as far as their defense is concerned. They just outscore people.
Yeah, I definitely thinking it's a team total over. Some way to bet on the Nuggets. Mark in the chat says he bet the Nuggets first half. Some way, some kind of way. I think I want to back the Nuggets here. I'm just not sure which one yet. So on that note, we'll move over to a little bit of NFL. Rob Veno. We have the Falcons heading into Tampa Bay to take on the Bucks. This one opened up 5.5 for the Bucks. It's been moving quite a lot this morning. It is back at 5.5 right now. Total open 43.5, and we'll call it 44. Um, this one is. I don't believe in laying with Tampa Bay. I just don't. I feel like haven't had many wins that are by more than a field goal. I just don't trust them. That's just what it boils down to. I know you get Mike Evans back; they're supposed to look good, but it's the first game back. I don't know. Everything about Tampa Bay, I just feel like I just don't trust it right now. Atlanta hasn't been great, but also for Tampa Bay, they have a few like their leading tackler and their two of their top three leading tacklers, I think, are missing this game. For Atlanta, they lost to this team in week one, if I'm not mistaken. I think Atlanta was winning that game and then blew it at the end. However it went, I know Atlanta lost to them. And, when they see them here again, I just know that's in their mind and you're going to get a good effort from them. So I want to find reasons to back Atlanta here or fade Tampa Bay, if you will. How are you feeling about it?
All right, so I pretty much zeroed in on one thing and one thing only, and that was the Tampa Bay team total. Sitting at 24.5. I played it over for a few reasons here. It's not really just Mike Evans coming back tonight, but it's the fact that Tristan Wirfs, their left tackle, is going to play again tonight. It's the fact that Bucky Irving is now back for a couple of weeks. It's the fact that Baker Mayfield now has had 3 weeks with that bad left shoulder under his belt. And also the fact that Atlanta's defense has been pretty bad, allowed 25 or more in 5 of their last 7, at least 24 points in every single one of their last 7 games. I can't lay the points with Tampa for reasons that you stated. Their defense hasn't been up to par, and they're missing some guys. Now, you counter that. I mean, somebody could argue me back and say, but Rob, there's no Drake London on the other side. Kyle Pitts is questionable. I think he's going to go. Atlanta really doesn't have a bunch of receivers anyway. And Kirk Cousins hasn't looked great. So all you have to do is kind of stop their running game with Bijan, and you could shut them down. Maybe, but I'm not willing to trust Tampa Bay quite yet. Their run defense used to be outstanding. It hasn't been the same for a while this season. But I do think that Tampa Bay will come out and score some points here. They got the 20 last week despite a whole bunch. You know, they had 11 possessions last week, the Buccaneers did. 7 of those possessions, how about 5 turnovers on downs? They crossed the midfield stripe 5 times, went for it on 4th down, didn't get it 4 times. The other one turned into a turnover, like an interception or something. One possession they punted. 7 of their 11 possessions were no good. And I just don't know that you're going to get that again. 4 4th down non-successes. It shows me that at least they're going for it. And they're being pushed by Carolina is even crazier because I don't think they expected the beginning of the season that they were going to be challenged in this division. The only thing I could find, and that I think is really a solid play, is that Tampa Bay will probably score more than 24.5 if the defense can't hold the Falcons, and maybe the Falcons cover the number here, but I'm just going to trust one thing, and that's the Tampa Bay offense here.
All right, we're thinking a little bit different on this game. One thing I will mention, prop, I see a lot of people betting Bijan over receiving yards tonight. And, I did mention a couple of the leading tacklers for the Bucs out. I don't know. I just have to mention, I'm looking at the games played with Kirk Cousins as quarterback without Drake London playing out there. He's only hit his receiving yards 1 out of those 4 games. It's just like he's not getting the targets. Only 1 of those games, he had 7 targets and he got it. The other 3 games, he only had two targets, and both 2 of them 3 targets and 1. So he's not getting the targets. But what he is getting is enough yards on that 1 reception to get over his longest reception. He's hit that 3 of the 4 games. And he averages 25 as the longest reception so far this season. So that's what I'm thinking a pivot for me is Bijan over 15.5 longest reception. Pretty close to pushing that button. So throw that out there. Anything else, Veno, before we wrap it up?
No, I think we covered that one pretty good.
All right. So we will actually, before we go to best bets, let's throw a couple of these things up there. We do always have Weekend Warrior, and you can get every play Saturday, Sunday, Monday, including 5% plays. As far as football, for only $49. If you prefer basketball, you can get the full court all access pass, 3 days of college basketball and NBA for only $49. You can rock with us for a year. You'll get $500 off. It comes out to just $125 a month. And if you were to purchase Rob Veno, for example, for a year, you'll get an additional 25% bonus coupon. You can come check out whatever I have going there. So on that note, Veno, we will move it over to best bets. And, if there's anything else you would like to promote, feel free. If you have a best bet, we'd love to hear it. If you do not, it's no worries.
Promotion-wise, I think you got it all covered, Skee. Those are the ones that are active right now. I'll just go ahead one more time and say that the college football bowl game special is $149 for everything through the national championship game. And it's crazy that bowl games start this Saturday. The regular season isn't even over because Army-Navy play and yet we have a bowl game on Saturday. We also have FCS playoffs. For those who don't know, I covered the FCS. We had a 4% winner last week on an FCS game. I think they've reached the quarterfinals here this weekend. So bowl packages are all inclusive. Go check it out at wagertalk.com. Best bet here today, Skee, because as we were talking, I just put this one in. So I'm going to go ahead and give it as the best bet here today. And it's going to be the Denver team total over 124.5. I hadn't bet anything until we talked that one through, and I just pulled the trigger on Denver team total over. Got 124.5. I think it's available to almost everybody at this point in time. So I'm going to leave that as a best bet. We listed the reasons why. No sense to rehash them. Nuggets team total up and over 124.5.
All right, good stuff there from Rob Veno. I'll remind everybody, I think that full court all access pass is a good way to go right now as far as myself. What is it, 60 and 33 in college basketball and NBA? I think it's a little bit over the last 3 weeks. So seeing the board well right now. And for my best bet on the show, I will go with Pelicans. I bet them plus 4.5. Best number you can get right now is a 4. I think this game comes down to one possession at the end, if not a New Orleans win. So, yeah, that's what I'll rock with for my best bet on the show. Vino, always great, doing the show with you. I appreciate you taking the time to break down this card and cap the games with me. Everybody out there in the chat, we appreciate you tapping in and helping out as well. Best of luck, everybody, on all your action. We'll be back again tomorrow.